often find my teeth slightly on edge when I have to do a difficult drive, maybe through downtown Johannesburg or driving when the weather is particularly bad. And years ago I came across a practice in Tibetan Buddhism called the Six Perfections. And the Six Perfections is a very old practice. It comes from the London University from about 500 AD to about 1500 AD. And the teachings were taken to Tibet. So mostly today, if you look for the Six Perfections, you find it in Tibetan Buddhism. So I've been a practitioner of Tibetan Buddhism since about the year 2000. And when I first got involved in Tibetan Buddhism, I was so enthusiastic and overexcited about it that I ended up leading retreats for a while before I realized I was on the wrong side of the Dunning-Kruger effect, and I had no business teaching people about this stuff. In my own defense, I can say I never pretended to be a Buddha. Bonus for that. I was fine to acknowledge that I was just sharing my enthusiasm. I think it's really important to say that that's all I was really doing, was sharing my enthusiasm. And one of the things that I taught was the Six Perfections, because I came up with a particular sort of a way of doing it that appealed to me, and that was to use it in terms of driving, because some of these concepts can be a little bit esoteric. Someone can tell you some stuff and you go, yeah, but how do I use this and how do I apply this in my day-to-day life? So I'm going to try and explain how I used to teach this, because I don't teach it anymore, obviously. So the Six Perfections is 6 things, one thing after the other, but they're also circular. And you don't try and practice them and get one perfect and then onto the next one. It's not that they need to be perfect, but that they help to make you perfect. They perfectionize, I suppose you could say. So I'm going to run through them very quickly and then come back and go through them in detail. So it's generosity, morality, patience, joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom. That's a bit much to get a handle on. So we'll go through it bit by bit. So the first thing is generosity. How does generosity look on the road when you're driving? Yeah, it does mean giving a person space to move in. It does also mean if you see somebody making a mistake that inconveniences you on the road, being a bit generous about it, cutting them a little bit of slack, like you might cut yourself a bit of slack for making a mistake. Generosity. But also being generous to yourself. I think that's really important, because it's easy to get kind of negative about it, defeatist about it. You will also make mistakes. And if you do try the system of the Six Perfections, you're going to make mistakes with this too. So be generous with yourself. It's incremental, little improvements over time. Right, generosity. The next one is morality. Morality is the easiest one to explain. You can just say, follow the rules of the road. Don't speed, don't drive drunk, don't use your phone, stop at traffic lights. You'll notice all of these things are designed to make roads safer. So morality is really founded on doing no harm. That's important to remember. Do no harm. It is the foundation of it. If you make a pointed effort to keep your morality, no matter what other people around you are doing, it creates a certain calmness. It gives you a strategy for dealing with the traffic. So if somebody else does something wrong, it's not your job to force them off the road and explain it to them. because you are then compromising your morality. Somebody else's drop in morality does not excuse you to go do whatever you want. That's morality. The next thing is patience. The heart of patience is actually not reacting to things that happen on the road. And I don't mean not braking when you need to brake or whatever. What I mean is not becoming emotionally invested negatively in what's going on the road. Just be patient with it. If traffic is slow, it's slow. That's how it is. If somebody cuts you off, they cut you off. Your emotional response and reactivity doesn't fix that. So patience has got two aspects to it, you can say. One is not reacting to things when they go wrong, and the other thing is just accepting that that's how things are. When you've got morality a little bit under control, it makes patience a lot easier. That I assure you is true. After patience, we get to joyous effort. Right, so I started off by saying having to get out on the traffic, particularly when the weather is bad, yeah, that can put my teeth on edge. So there's no joy in it. But if I accept that this is going to be a place where I can grow and learn and improve myself, and I see that this is starting to work, then there's a joy in the practice of going out and driving. And that is joyous effort. So joyous effort can be very hard to just manifest. Really, joyous effort for me is one of the first perfections that starts to spontaneously arise when you've concentrated. Oh my goodness, this road. Generosity is one of the things. Where am I? Joyous effort starts to spontaneously arrive when you've worked a little bit on generosity, morality, and patience. And when you've got that feeling of joyous effort, it leads you very, very sweetly into concentration. Your mind is not being dragged from one thing to another. Your emotions are more stable and calm. And you are able to concentrate on your driving and on your morality. Like this guy now. He's speeding up behind me and hooted for what? I'm in the left-hand lane. I'm going slowly. What does he want from me? So that is concentration. Focus on the drive. And after that comes wisdom. Like the guy that's yelling and shouting because he wanted me to be doing something else. Maybe his boss is shouting at him because he's late. Maybe his boss is like, you should have done another delivery. I can see he's a delivery driver, is why I'm saying that. I don't know what's going on in his life. So I can get angry with him and everything. It's not going to calm him down. And maybe if I was in the same circumstances as him, I'd also be cross. I don't know. But if I get angry, I'm going to lose my concentration and everything else. So by having everything else steady, I'm at least on the path to being focused on the road. And that, we hope, will lead spontaneously to wisdom. So wisdom is the most difficult thing to explain. It's a tough one. You can get really deep into Buddhist philosophy in an attempt to understand wisdom, to explain wisdom. I'm going to explain it like this. It's like, for me, it was a good concrete way to see it. Because this kind of happened to me one day. I bought a new car. And then on that day, getting stuck in the traffic was wonderful. And it made me realize you've got two people in the traffic. They're experiencing exactly the same traffic. So the one person's just got a brand new car. Or maybe they're going on a date with this person they've always wanted a date with. So it's super exciting for them. So they're in the car and the traffic just looks wonderful. It's just a wonderful place to be. They're not getting angry about anything. whether it's the new car or this person you're going on a date with, you're in a situation that you wouldn't swap for the world, right? There's somebody else in the traffic with you, experiencing exactly the same traffic, but they're late for work, and they've already had one run-in with HR for being late with work. How do you think that person is experiencing the traffic? So wisdom is understanding that. Wisdom isn't necessarily, at its foundation, creating one of those circumstances rather than the other one. It's okay, lady. It's a matter of recognizing that the traffic isn't inherently anything. It's what you put onto it. That's your wisdom. And I can tell you, good luck with that, because it is, you can theoretically understand it, but you manifest that and you're able to see it and experience it constantly. Oh man, that is challenging. Right, so that was my drive today. It didn't it didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to be. Fluit my stories uit once again.